Good evening and welcome. Tonight, a major debate is once again taking center stage in international football. Should politics have a place on the world's biggest sporting stage? Germany's sporting director Rudi Völler has urged players from the national team to avoid political statements during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. His comments have triggered intense reactions across Europe and the football world, especially because Germany was at the center of one of the biggest controversies during the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Back then, German players protested FIFA restrictions by covering their mouths before a match, after teams were warned against wearing the One Love armband supporting LGBTQ rights. Now, ahead of the next World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, German football officials appear eager to avoid another politically charged tournament. Is football only about sport? Or do players have a responsibility to speak out on social issues using their global platform? Here is our special report. The debate over politics in football has returned once again, and this time, Germany is at the center of it. Rudi Völler, one of the most respected figures in German football and currently the national team's sporting director, has publicly urged players to avoid political demonstrations during the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. Speaking to German media, Völler said he hopes the team can focus primarily on football rather than political messaging during the tournament. While he clarified that players are not being silenced and no official ban exists, his message was clear: Germany wants fewer distractions and more concentration on performances on the field. The comments immediately sparked discussion across the football world. For many fans, this statement represents a major shift in Germany's approach after the highly controversial 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. To understand why Völler's remarks matter so much, we need to go back to that tournament. Before Germany's opening match against Japan in Qatar, players posed for a team photograph while covering their mouths with their hands. The symbolic protest came after FIFA warned several European nations not to wear the One Love armband, a campaign promoting diversity, inclusion, and LGBTQ rights. The issue quickly became one of the defining stories of the World Cup. Supporters praised the players for standing up for human rights and freedom of expression. Critics argued that political gestures were overshadowing the sport itself. Germany's campaign in Qatar ended in disappointment. The team was eliminated in the group stage for the second consecutive World Cup, leading to intense criticism from fans and media. Now, nearly 4 years later, German football officials appear determined to avoid repeating that experience. Völler's latest comments suggest that the German Football Association wants the national team's focus to remain on football rather than activism. But the issue is far from simple. Modern football is deeply connected with politics, culture, and global social movements. From racism protests to human rights campaigns, athletes today are often expected to speak out on issues beyond sports. In recent years, football players across the world have taken public positions on racism, war, equality, discrimination, and political violence. England players kneeled before matches to protest racial injustice. Iranian players refused to sing their national anthem during the 2022 World Cup amid protests back home. Ukrainian flags and messages have appeared in stadiums following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. For many athletes, silence is no longer considered neutral. That is why Völler's comments have created such a strong reaction. Some supporters agree with him completely. They argue that football tournaments should unite people rather than divide them politically. According to this view, fans watch the World Cup to enjoy the game, support their countries, and celebrate sport, not to witness political debates. Former players and commentators supporting Völler say excessive political focus can create unnecessary pressure on athletes and distract teams from competition. Others, however, strongly disagree. Human rights groups and many fans believe football players have enormous influence and should use their visibility to support important causes. They argue that major sporting events cannot be separated from politics because the tournaments themselves are often connected to political decisions, international relations, and social issues. Critics also point out that FIFA and national football organizations frequently promote campaigns involving equality, anti-racism, and inclusion. Because of this, they say it is inconsistent to encourage certain social messages while discouraging others. Social media reactions to Völler's statement have been sharply divided. On one side, some users praised Germany for trying to return focus to football. Others accused football authorities of discouraging freedom of expression. The controversy also highlights the difficult balancing act facing international football ahead of the 2026 World Cup. The next tournament will be historic in several ways. It will be hosted across 3 countries: the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and will feature an expanded format with 48 teams. It is expected to become the biggest and most commercially successful World Cup in history. But it will also arrive during a politically tense global period. Issues involving immigration, gender identity, human rights, racism, war, and free speech remain deeply polarizing worldwide. Experts believe it may be nearly impossible to completely separate politics from a global sporting event watched by billions. FIFA itself has repeatedly attempted to maintain political neutrality. The organization officially discourages political demonstrations on the field, arguing that football should remain independent from political conflicts. However, enforcing that principle has proven extremely difficult. Every major tournament now faces questions extending beyond sport. Should players be punished for political gestures? Should athletes remain neutral? Or does neutrality itself send a message? These are questions football authorities continue struggling to answer. For Germany, the issue carries additional historical sensitivity. The country has long promoted democratic values, anti-discrimination policies, and social responsibility through sport. German teams and athletes have often been vocal on political and social matters. That is why some observers see Völler's comments not as a rejection of activism, but as an attempt to reduce pressure on players during competition. According to reports, Völler stressed that there would be no gag orders on the squad. Players remain free to express personal opinions, but officials hope the national conversation will focus more on football performance than political controversy. Inside Germany, reactions from fans have also reflected broader divisions in society. Some believe athletes should prioritize representing the country on the field. Others feel players should never be discouraged from defending values they believe in. Sports analysts say the debate is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. In today's media environment, every statement, gesture, and symbol can instantly become international news. Footballers are no longer just athletes, they are celebrities, influencers, and public figures with global audiences. That reality creates enormous expectations. For younger players especially, navigating those expectations can be challenging. Many teams now receive media training not only about interviews and sponsorships, but also about political communication and social media behavior. As the countdown to the 2026 World Cup continues, football federations across the globe will likely face similar discussions. How much activism should players engage in? What role should sport play in political conversations? And where should organizations draw the line? For now, Germany's message appears focused on stability, unity, and sporting concentration. Whether that approach succeeds both on and off the field remains to be seen. An issue that goes far beyond football. Rudi Völler's comments have reignited one of the biggest modern debates in global sport: whether athletes should simply entertain, or also speak out on the issues shaping the world around them. With the 2026 FIFA World Cup expected to attract billions of viewers worldwide, the discussion surrounding politics, activism, and freedom of expression is almost certain to continue. And as history has shown, what happens off the pitch can sometimes become just as important as the action on it. Thanks for watching. Stay with us for more international news after